Okay, Mound H, you can barely see it behind me there in the distance, but this was a very unique mound according to the archaeologists who excavated this site. They said no other mound anywhere, has this shape. It's a unique shape. It's shaped like sort of a stunted T. It's a very linear mound with a wide ramp coming down from the top, giving it a T-shaped. The archaeologists also noted something else when they excavated it. The mound had been enlarged at least 3 times, but each time they enlarged it, they were very careful to keep the exact same proportions, which sort of insinuated that this shape was really important to whoever built it. And this is unusual because there are other mounds throughout the southeast that were built and rebuilt and enlarged over time, and they were never careful about keeping the shape the same. They would go from rectangles to squares, squares to rectangles. The shape would change over time, each time it was reconstructed, but not this mound. And so you have to ask the question, why? Well, this mound is actually built in the shape of another Mayan glyph, which would make this a geoglyph, a glyph made of earth, but it's actually made of limestone rock that was found here on the site. This glyph in the Maya world is what's called the Eek Glyph, spelled I-K, pronounced Eek, and it means wind, air, but it also has spiritual connotations, meaning breath of life and spirit. And so that would explain why whoever built this mound was very, very careful to keep the proportions exactly the same so it wouldn't lose its meaning. Inside of the mound, the archaeologists excavated in the center of the mound, and they discovered a deposit of seashells. Well, that's very consistent with the Maya association with wind and air, because they believed seashells were the source of all air. I assume this comes from the phenomena when you put a seashell to your air, it sounds like you're at the beach, you hear wind and air blowing. So I assume that's probably the origination of that idea. But so to find these seashells in the center of this T-shaped mound in the shape of the Mayan glyph for air and wind and breath of life and spirit it supports the theory that this mound was meant to represent the Mayan glyph for air. It's also interesting that it has those religious associations with spirit and breath of life, because this whole site is a burial site. There are 2 burial mounds. One, based on the artifacts found in it for commoners and locals, and another where the exquisite artifacts were found for higher ranked people. So the fact that they have a mound here in the shape of the Mayan glyph Eek, which has the spiritual connotations of breath of life, and spirit, is again consistent with the overall Mayan symbology at this site.